Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos, the journey home. I'm your Dungeon Master, Darby, and joining me as always are Zoe, playing Sevia, Emily, playing Beatrice, Laura, playing Conrad, Mitch, playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and Johanna, playing Fall. Let's jump into it. So, where we last left off, the party delved into the tomb and fell victim to a trick trap in the entry chamber, which cost Prime a foot. And Prime hasn't actually been seen since, interestingly enough. Then the party went to a strange devilish mouth consumed with darkness within. Dispelled that darkness, revealing a shadow demon that came forth to attack them. However, that demon was promptly eviscerated by Fall and Beatrice. Particularly Beatrice having a handy amount of radiant damage because of how sneak attack works, and her basically having a lightsaber. So, that was pretty much where we left off, with the party looking at two that was the other thing. A skeleton ran past on one side, almost mockingly. So, what would people like to do?
Did everyone else see that skeleton just now?
Yes, would you like me to catch it?
What? I was mostly just making sure I wasn't hallucinating.
Oh yes, I just thought I'm quite fast and maybe
Do you want to catch it?
I don't know, I was just putting out a suggestion.
I'm not dismissing your suggestion, I'm just... Can we still see the skeleton?
Not from where you are. Because it went, if you're looking at the map,
running.
Yeah, you came. Yeah, you're still in the middle of this T intersection, and so looking to your right, you saw it go past like the opening to the next area, and out of sight. It just ran north.
Maybe I should have gone straight away if I wanted to catch it.
Apologies, I held you up on that one. Well, is that an indicator that we should go that way, or an indicator that we definitely should not?
I don't think the little riddle thing... No, that doesn't relate to it at all.
No.
Well, catching things is that's all I had to offer. What does everyone else think?
𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is still in the hallway beforehand.
Yeah, Conrad's kind of just looking back to it, and then he sort of turns around to face Sevia and Fall, and Beatrice is probably wiping the demon blood off her sword. And he kind of like awkwardly looks a bit startled, like, yes. Well, good job with the thing. There was a creature there for a moment. Fall and Beatrice. probably we should see where they're going. What was I didn't catch it. What was the skeleton you're talking about? Did it look taunting or like it was afraid? I suppose it's a skeleton. They don't really do face expressions much.
I'd be more
No.
worried about it going to warn something else.
True.
Yes.
Probably the opposite direction then. So where the skeleton came from, perhaps.
Yes. I will say, from what I could see of it, it did appear. Again, you're right, skeletons can't do facial expressions, but it was flailing its arms in a certain mocking sort of way.
Yeah, I got a mocking vibe from it as well.
Yes.
Perhaps it was a performer in its life. Some theatre shows do that. That sounds silly. We should investigate and press on.
Yes.
Probably the best for everyone.
Beatrice wanders up to the mouth where the little shadow friend jumped out of and is going to investigate to see whether there is anything in that spot.
Okay. I don't believe there is. I just need to double check. Yeah, there is nothing in there. It was purely the abode of this shadow demon.
Okay. I just did an escape room today, so now I'm expecting to find a little key everywhere. You must solve all the little puzzles to get the keys. Yeah, I guess Fall kind of like peer down the like the pathway that the skeleton came from.
Oh, another reminder about the skeleton that you would have, at least the more perceptive of you. So Beatrice and Fall definitely would have noticed this. The structure of its head was strange. It wasn't just a standard skull. There seemed to be some sort of stone protrusion coming out. Yeah, ridged almost like a key in some ways.
It is an escape room.
Yes. We gotta beat the record time.
Actually, you are blocked in here now. So it is.
We're stuck.
It is an escape room.
Oh my gosh.
Technically.
Yeah.
Wait, so did it ran down a path and then did the door close behind it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, the door closed behind you. The one that from the
okay.
trap door.
Yes, we can't go
so
back. Yeah.
Yeah. So the T intersection you're in, you can go to the left. You can see a door. There is also a grate in between you and the that. Additionally, and then on the right, you can see it goes into what seems to be a balcony of some sort. I don't believe any of your vision really goes much beyond that at the moment. And it's worth noting, I have a sneaking suspicion. Does anyone besides Fall have dark vision? So it's worth noting that Fall is, unless you have a source of light with you, which
There were a couple of sources
Yes.
of light.
Beatrice has the sword.
Beatrice has the sword.
Sevia has light cast on her quarterstaff.
Yep.
And Conrad has an unlit lamp.
Yes. So it is worth noting that, yeah, unless you are really close to a light source, you can mostly only see, your vision is incredibly limited. Fall's vision isn't quite as limited, but after after that point of light runs out, their vision is pretty much just in black and white.
Okay. But I think I've said Fall just peers down the one on the left, I assume.
So the opposite side to where the skeleton ran across.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just have a
Okay.
look.
So that is a door there. Let me just double check what that. So you do walk across a rusted iron grate in the ground to get there.
He will go around it. He will not step on
Okay.
it.
Through its bars, you do see muddy water flowing slowly past. Yeah. The door. The door. Where is the? 'Cause this is closed. Is the door? Trying to find whether the door is locked. This is a heavy stone door here.
Okay.
Whether or not it is locked, I need to double check. But yeah, it is I believe a stone, or it's either a stone or wooden door, and it is completely solid. Like there's no porthole to look through.
Okay. All right. Full stares at it a moment, being like, I can't tell if this material is wood or stone. How strange. And there's no like handle. Or anything?
Sorry. This one there is actually a crystal window. So creepers and vines cling to the walls of this corridor, at the end of which is an arched crystal window, 6 feet wide and 10 feet high. Through it, you can see a dark chamber.
Okay. I guess Full just kind of peers through and then be like, I don't see any immediate threats this way. This seems to go into a room that has another chamber in it, I believe. If we can figure out how to open this door, that is.
So it is basically entirely window.
Ah, cool.
If I'm understanding this right.
Okay.
And it
Well,
is
there should be some way in it in
crystal.
one way or another.
Hmm.
It is worth investigating. And Conrad will kind of like he's just still been standing back in that hallway. And then he'll kind of like turn back to Exley and then just like put his hands on his hips and cock his head to one side and then like just like tap him on the I don't know, just do a little bonk on the side of his arm. And then point to the direction that Fall is, but will not. But they will stride off after Fall. He will not turn back to see if Exley's following. And then he will go and have a look over at the door with Fall. Pop, 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 pop.
Exley will move up a little bit.
Cool.
He did give a nod to Conrad, but didn't say anything.
Excellent. And so it's like a glass door.
Crystal, but yeah, basically. Except for it doesn't have hinges. Like
Okay.
it's because it's a window functionally.
Okay.
Is crystal like diamond and very hard, or is it more brittle? Can we smash it?
That's
You can
What I'm pondering.
you can try to smash it if you want.
I can Google the density of crystal.
Can I ascertain to see if that looks breakable, like if it's thick enough?
What would this be? Tell me, what tool proficiencies do you have?
I've got thieves' tools. Then I have like dragon chess, forgery, playing cards, calligrapher's surprise, disguise kit. But thieves' tools will be like checking to see how thick, like breaking into windows and stuff. Surely, so
Yeah, so it's not quite what I would have wanted, but we're gonna stick for proficiency's sake. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna steal a bit of bard here. I'm gonna ask you to roll an intelligence check, but add half of your proficiency modifier.
okay.
So
No
I
worries.
believe your
All right,
proficiency
plus
bonus
2.
is 4, so it would be +2.
That's an intelligence roll.
Yes.
Cool, excellent. So that's 14.
14. Might be breakable.
I suppose the straightforward way into here would just be breaking it. There doesn't seem to be any sorts of like ways saying otherwise.
Oh, I just noticed.
Don't forget.
Of note, so when you peer through this window, you can see a vaulted tomb overgrown with moss and creepers. A stone
I want to get in there then,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
Well, wait for the next sentence. A stone sarcophagus rests on a stepped dais in the middle of the floor. On the wall behind the sarcophagus,
Oh, no.
2 large statues of bears grip a 5-foot diameter bronze disc embossed with a dozen glaring eyes.
Oh, I don't like that.
Six-
I think Paul did not notice this.
Yeah.
For would have, I just forgot at the time to mention
Oh
this.
no, I think if they noticed, they probably would have been like, oh god.
Okay. 6 desiccated corpses slump on thrones in niches along the walls, and each corpse wears a black mask made of paper mache and feathers.
We should definitely go in here.
An arched crystal window to the east offers a view of the tunnel beyond.
Excellent. Anyone got anything we can use to sort of try and barge this in? I don't think my fists are going to do.
Don't forget, there are traps everywhere.
Yes.
If you break it, it may spring something.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Can actually have a little bit of a look around. The rooms that we've been in before have had a definite exit point to them. It's all been puzzles. Is there a puzzle here that we're missing? Essentially, is there a door that needs a key? Is there something that we're missing? Exley is essentially going to be trying to piece together what this room could possibly mean.
So, I'm trying to think. I mean, this that you're in isn't so much a room as it is a corridor. You can roll me. Let's say roll me an investigation check to see if there's anything that you're missing in looking through this room.
Okay. That is a straight 10.
Straight 10. You don't think there's anything you're missing? There's either you go to the right and go further, like there's that stairwell in the right, and if you go right to the edge of it, there is like a path leading north. There might be a path on the opposite side of the stairwell, or you go left by breaking that crystal window and seeing what lies in that room beyond.
What does it look like on the right?
On the right,
So there's a stairwell.
Yeah. So, a grand chamber opens ahead, 50 feet across and plunging down into darkness below. A stone balcony winds around the walls to connect 4 archways. Other balcony levels are visible below, with corridors radiating off in all directions. To the north, a stone staircase descends to the lower levels. Additionally, actually exploring this, you do see a hunched figure which glares up at you from the balcony below, wearing a mask that is a replica of the devil face at the tomb entrance. Without saying a word, the figure steps out of sight. And I will bring up an image of that figure so that you may see it.
Oh, goody. He looks friendly.
Excellent.
Okay. I will back away and inform everyone of what is to the right.
So there was someone down there.
Something.
Interesting.
Hmm.
There certainly appears to be presence in this temple thus far in a different way to how it was in the Amber Temple. entities with other interests here. It was good to note this. Well, there are stairs over there. I suppose that would be interesting. I would really like to get a look in that room there. But I suppose the easiest way is the stairs, in this case. Unless we do want to try breaking the crystal wall.
I could probably break it for kick, but I don't know. Both rooms seem equally ominous.
I guess the question is, what is our purpose here? It is to find the source of this curse.
Yes. All those corpses in that room might give good information. But exploration may also give some. Darby, what can I roll to decide if Conrad is going to... What do I roll? What is it that I roll that's like to avoid just doing the things that his curses want him to do?
So if Conrad is aware that this is something... Because Conrad is in the unique situation of being aware that a personality trait that he has...
Yeah. What do I roll
is
for?
not his, or at least is not his to the extent that it should be. And if he wants to act against that, I think it is a wisdom save.
Alright, that's him weighing up against it. I rolled a 6. That's a 6. Cool. But possibly, I mean, there could be anything down those stairs. I think checking out here first would probably be best idea. What's the worst that could happen? Apart from previous things, obviously, aside.
Sevia raises both eyebrows, and then when he amends that, she does kind of do a little, like, head nod, like, yeah, okay. Cool, so you're aware.
I suppose if no one touches anything, looks directly at Conrad,
He just grins back at her. His eyes are quite shiny.
we can go in that way and have a look.
Good, excellent. So, what should we do? Paul, try and kick it? We use Exley as a battering ram?
What's the biggest weapon that somebody has? The heaviest sort of
Tag
thing.
alongs, what do you have? Do you have anything like hammer or something?
Battle axe.
So one thing, like you see it in Artis's face, it's a bit harder to read Dragonbait just because it's not a facial structure you're familiar with. But Artis's face is definitely one of, like, he did not appreciate being simply referred to as tag-alongs. But Dragonbait holds up his longsword as like his most powerful, like his big weapon. And Artis, you can see, doesn't really have any long blades on him. He just has his longbow, and he has a dagger.
Is there anything on the ground that I can look at that would help in the Congress just used to just bash at it with?
Not
All
really.
his weaponry are fine.
Not really. It's just kind of moss on the ground. And even the grate, as rusty as it is, doesn't look like it's gonna budge.
While I'm looking around at this, presumably our pair characters are talking at this point, but while I'm looking around at this to get this understanding of stuff, how solid does the grate look? Like it's rusty?
Yeah. It's rusty, but it still looks like it's still iron. It is still.
I'm not gonna get in through there.
Yeah. I mean,
Cool.
you can try.
Well, what Conrad does is he assesses things, so
Yeah.
oh, quite often not very well. But yeah. Okay, cool. Well, perhaps we may need to investigate further until tools to get through are safer. Unless you think you really can punch through that fall.
I mean, I've broken through like wooden locks and stuff before. Maybe I could just like wrap my. But I don't know.
Probably best not to bust your knuckles too early on.
Oh, well, I was going to kick it, but yes.
We must also be aware of the noise that may make. If we are attempting to be stealthy, that may hinder our progress.
Can
That is true.
Beatrice come up and she's going to come up and have a look all around the sort of frame of the door and the walls and the floor next to the door to see if there's any sort of trigger.
Okay, so roll me an investigation check. Or a thieves' tools check if you've depending like I'll allow you to choose if one is better than the other.
Let me have a look at which one's better.
Yeah. Because I feel like actually this should probably be investigation to
My
look
investigation's
for traps.
better anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. 19.
19. Yeah, there don't seem to be any traps that you can discern rigged up to this window. So yeah, it's probably up to you what call you want to make, but yeah, you give it a pretty thorough looking over and determine there's likely not any traps on here.
Well, at the very least, I don't think it's trapped. The door at the very least.
Good. Excellent. I mean, I could have told you that. It's just a crystal door they can't get into.
Well,
Perhaps the other way is better. We know that at least 2 creatures within this tomb have seen us and then wandered away to perhaps warn others that we are here. We need to make a decision and get moving.
Yeah. Yes. And Carl will just like stare back through the crystal.
Did the demon thing that a few of us fought, did it have anything covering its face?
No.
Okay. Perhaps for now it may be best to follow the path. I am sure it will lead us to that crystal room.
One thing of
some
note.
stage.
One thing of note for those who have looked through the crystals, which I believe at this point is for Conrad and Beatrice. There doesn't appear to be any sort of door going into it, from what you can see.
Cool. Like Crow's gonna be like, it doesn't look like there's any other way in here though.
Oh, so it's just a dead end route.
It might have something important in there.
Huh.
but investigating could be of greater import.
Maybe there's like a clue in there for like the other room or something. I don't know.
If we can work out a way to open the door without causing a huge amount of ruckus, as Exley said, I think, yes, it could be beneficial, but if not, we should go the other way, come back to this room afterwards. Or if it becomes pertinent.
Full nods but looks dejected.
I agree.
I suppose. Yes. It kind of like reluctantly turns from the crystal wall. And and then kind of like nods. His eyes are still quite shiny. He's like, yes, would be best to press on and return later. I remember the way, so perhaps I can return then. Yes, this should be good. Well, then we should press on. And he kind of like, he has like the little unlit lantern, and he kind of reaches into one of his pockets and takes out like a little tinder and sets about lighting his lantern. And then once he's finished with that, he kind of nods. Well,
Beatrice just quirks an eye at Conrad and then walks off down the other direction.
𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 will follow Beatrice.
oh, I stride off.
And full follow.
I will dump
Sevia
a lantern
goes
onto
off.
Conrad for light source.
Sevia will go with Artis and Dragon Bait.
Hmm.
And she is also going to look at the two of them as we're walking off, and she's got her little stick lantern as we go down this little corridor, and she's going to go, did you see what 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 did with Prime? Why is Prime not coming with us?
Dragonbait shrugs and Artis says, I did not see where the creature was placed. Maybe a mystery.
Yes. A mystery. Onwards we go.
Indeed.
Confused little furrow to her brow.
And you see a look of consideration briefly cross Artis's face as he just as you are walking through the corridor, he just very quickly knocks an arrow and just with a kind of look of like let's see if this works, and aims it at the crystal.
Sevia is going to see him do that and be like, no. But I don't think she can stop him.
No. And yeah,
But everyone else would hear her go, no.
So the arrow
No.
hits the crystal.
Wait, what's going on?
The arrow hits the crystal, and how much damage does Artis do with his longbow? Yeah, and the crystal starts to crack and like.
What did you do that for?
And it's still standing, but it's like, you know, when glass gets to the point where it's very shattered, but a single touch will just like shatter it. It's what you were talking about doing, so
Later?
I thought with everyone out of the way, just that'd be the safest time to check. There's clearly no trap anymore. There's clearly no trap.
Sevia puts like the hand not holding her staff to her temple, and she's just like, they're meant to be guiding us. They're meant to be in charge.
One of those sentences is true. They're meant to be guiding you.
They're not meant to be in charge.
No.
They're meant to be. You just endangered the entire party. I don't.
I imagine at this point, or even earlier on than that, Beatrice, Fall, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and Conrad would swivel around from the room we've stepped to. I don't know.
Yeah. As soon as there was any form of noise, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 continues to look out over the balcony, looking for any sort of threat, looking for if the person that was hiding in the shadows has taken any notice, or if there is another.
There doesn't seem to be anyone notice, like, it wasn't incredibly loud. You four probably would have noticed the sound from where you are, but that's because you're all fairly perceptive. Like, I think when you take Sevia out of the group, I think the lowest passive perception is 16. So you four would notice the sound, but it's like just as this subtle sound. Like, it doesn't sound like anything's been alerted.
Full starts slowly, like, hopefully, like, wrapping a hand in, like, his coat, like, punch.
Stevie is just so like there's a lot of anger in her tiny little body. And she just looks back at the party, and she looks at these guys, and she looks at the cracked crystal door, and she's like, well, when we return later, as we said we would, it's now far easier, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I suppose, well, I suppose now that we are investigating here, I suppose it will be interesting to see if any enemies now come approaching the noise as we earlier theorized. Excellent. That's very helpful. Yes. And Conrad kind of steps next to 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and then, like, looks at, like, kind of like under his breath goes, perhaps these two would make better friends in another form. And then continues to look out, but he still looks quite antsy. He wants to go back to that room.
𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to consider that for a moment. But not too long, because it's a thought that's already been dwelling in his mind. So he is going to turn to Artis after ascertaining that nothing appears to be coming to destroy us. And he will say, of course, if you are so inclined to make decisions on your own, perhaps you can be the first one to investigate that crystal room.
I would be happy to have a look.
What an excellent suggestion. Perhaps we should sojourn briefly then, before investigating further.
We'll be right behind you.
Well, lead the way, friend, he says to Artis. And then he does that horrible kind of big grin.
So back to the crystal?
I guess
Back to
so.
the
This is
crystal.
an adventure game with lots of backtracking.
All right. So, so Artis is going to... Actually, he might have a fun way that he can do that.
Hopefully it's loud.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
Fal's just going to be pissed that he doesn't get to kick it, because now there's been a challenge issue, so Fal can't kick it.
No, dagger doesn't quite work like that. So,
I'm really
but
good at this kind of stuff. I wanted to help. I want to punch it. Break the window.
but he's gonna throw his dagger at it and hit. It only had 1 hit point left, so it just falls inwards. And he steps inside. Oh, I need to open the door. Okay. Okay. So, so yes, there is, as mentioned before, there are 6 corpses on the thrones in this room. There are each corpse has a black mask made of paper mache and feathers. An art. There is a 2 statues of bears. 2 statues of bears gripping a 5-foot diameter bronze disc embossed with a dozen glaring eyes, and there is a stone sarcophagus that rests in the middle of the room. So let me line this up so that it's a bit more visible for our viewers.
Conrad will enter after Artis has had a little bit of a wander around.
Beatrice will also sort of walk in, but stay just within the doorway.
Okay.
Exley will also step forward, but pointedly making sure that Artis is the furthest into the room.
Okay.
Sevia, while all this is happening, had turned to Dragonbait and was like, do you... Is he like this all the time?
Dragonbait gives you a kind of shrug of like, what can you do?
This is not something to be blasé about. Apologies to watchers. Conrad the cat has decided it's his time to shine.
I will note, Artis is studying the bronze disc. And he says, the eyes on this thing are moving. And as he says this, the whites that are the corpses on each of the thrones begin to move. So can I get everyone to roll me initiative, please? As the whites...
God damn it, Artis.
Look, if it wasn't something in this room, it was going to be something in some other room.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 for Beatrice.
Uh, 15 for Fall.
12 for Conrad.
11 for Sevia.
Exley got 6.
11 for Sevia. Exley got 6. Just need Dragonbait. Dragonbait has +1, so Dragonbait is 13. Okay, so top of initiative is Beatrice. I still need to reveal these whites in the map. Okay. So, but yeah, so there's one on each of the thrones here. Although one apparently isn't showing up in...
Yeah,
main
it
view,
isn't. Can't see
but
it.
I will... But, yes. Just for safety's sake, there is a white on that throne as well. Six. It might show up at some point, who knows. If not, I can shuffle stuff around. Alright, what is Beatrice doing?
Beatrice is... She's going to step forward slightly, so she's just out of the way, and say, I think it'd be best if we move back towards the hallway. We can bottleneck them if we need to. And she's just going to hold an action. If a white comes near her, she is going to whack it with her sword.
Alright. So next is Artis. He is going to start backing up following that suggestion of yours. He's just going to go here so that he's not bottlenecking those of you who are in here into the room. But from there, he's going to use his multi-attack. I'll do these one by one for now. So, you know what? For simply, oh, it's shown up now anyway. So first one is a plus, so that is 17 to hit. That hits a white for 4 damage. So I'm just going to say white number 1 for now. And then second attack, that's going to miss. Third attack that he gets, that's also going to miss. All right. But yeah, so he's going to stay there until everyone else is out of the room, just because he doesn't want to trap people in with how tight everything is. And he only just would have had enough movement to get right at the entrance. Fall.
I guess Fall's gonna back away as well. Just go ping near Sevia. I guess I'll just hold an action to attack if they get near.
Yep. Just remember, these are also undead, which you have features that kind of you can.
Good point.
You have things that can fuck them up.
True.
But for now, so what's your action?
I guess I'll just hold an action for now to attack if they get near.
Okay. Just double
With that
check.
in mind.
Yeah. Double check your abilities, and then maybe next turn you'll have.
Yeah, thank you.
Something else. Yes, because your bardic subclass in particular is designed to be very good at dealing with undead.
Vibes to it, yeah.
Yes. Dragonbait. Dragonbait doesn't have much he can do without going into the room. You know what? He's just gonna go. He's gonna go into the room. Like he's gonna kind of bottleneck from the inside. And he's gonna stand there, stand at arm there, and he's just gonna hold an action to swing at one if it tries to go past him. Next is Conrad.
Okay. So Conrad takes a look at, so all the whites are like, they're still wearing the little paper mache masks, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. He looks at this and he looks at the gong and he ponders. And then he looks back at Beatrice, who said, "Get out of here." He thinks about that as well. So instead, he then nods in those 6 seconds, and he is going to duck back because I believe there's a bottleneck, but I can step back into the hallway. Yes.
Yeah.
From this point.
And
cool.
allies can maneuver past you, even with you and Exley kind of blocking the 2 5-foot squares there. But
he'll do this naturally to kind of he'll curb around the and then crouch down, and then he's going to throw a dagger at one of the whites anyway.
All right. So I'm going to assume
it's just a regular dagger.
So
you know.
so the one that's looking at what you have line of sight to.
Yeah.
The one closer to you, or on the far end of the room?
far end of the room, just
Okay,
for
so
funsies. Let's go.
yeah, that's also the
So-
one that has had some damage done to it by artists too. So
Awesome. So a 24 to hit.
24 certainly hits.
Cool. And it's a D4 plus 5. Oh, okay. So 6. So I presume that's halved. I don't know. There goes. It's not a special dagger.
But it was drawn from your bandolier, was it not?
Yeah, so returns.
So it is.
Oh, they are.
So
they're
it is
I think.
magical for like the
Yeah.
turn. I think it is that
Awesome.
you draw it.
And I believe it returns. Also, as my bonus action, I don't think Conrad would be particularly conscious of this, but I would like to activate my form of dread, please.
Yeah. So how much?
Because now I'm an undead warlock.
How
instead
much
of
damage
undying
was it
one.
again? It was 6, wasn't it?
6
Okay.
damage. Thank you.
So it. Yeah. Okay. So you do that full 6 damage to it. Pity. Unfortunately, yeah. No. Is there extra damage for Form of Dread?
No.
No. Okay. I was going to say if you wanted to, we could reverse the order of that if it was going to affect the damage.
Yeah, I
but-
think all it can do is that if you hit a creature, you can force it to make a Wisdom saving throw to if it can be frightened of you. So
Okay.
we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll roll a Wisdom save for it.
Yep. So DC 14. So simultaneously,
It makes it. It makes
Okay,
it.
that's fine. I believe you're in charge of what Form of Dread looks like as well. It's subtle, but not.
Yeah. So who would see this?
Exley.
And I'd probably say Beatrice.
Beatrice?
would,
Yeah. In her periphery.
as well as Dragonbait, and Dragonbait probably wouldn't because he's focusing
they
on
kind of like probably they're all
readying
there.
to attack.
Like I would say Exley, Sevier, and Fall possibly because they're not.
Yeah.
front of me.
And artist probably would notice some of it as well.
Of course he does.
The Dragonbait's too focused on his readied action.
What a ledge.
But you do notice a slight shift in body language though from Dragonbait as it occurs.
I'm pretty sure Dragonbait's a paladin, so it's not great. Yeah,
There's,
what does Form of Dread look like,
But
Darby?
so, those of you that can see Conrad, like his eyes become almost tiefling-like in that they are just solid blocks of color. In particular, they are the color. They are almost like they have been replaced by glass eyes made of amber. There's also a sort of subtle darkening of the veins around his neck and going up into his jawline, and a sort of slight sallowing and paling of the skin.
And I have 10 temporary hit points
Yes.
too, Darby, just letting you know.
Yes.
Fun time.
Wonderful. I think I can actually plug in temporary hit points on.
Cool. And yes, I'm now crouched down just in the inside of the hallway. And this has all happened in 6 seconds.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, so that's your turn. Next is Sevier.
Cool. So everything's gone very poorly very, very quickly. Emily, I see what you're doing, and none of these wights are in the same 20-foot sphere. So until they're all in a similar...
20-foot radius is 4
Radius?
squares. You could... You...
Could I do it?
If you put this in the center of the room...
I could do it?
Even a bit further back than the center of the room, you could get them all with a fireball.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, baller. Okay.
Because remember, it's 20-foot radius.
Ah, yes. My apologies. I forgot what a radius was. Okay, I was thinking diameter.
And I think you don't even really need to be concerned about where it is for allies because you can just exclude them.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I love me a spell sculpt, baby. Okay,
yeah.
I want to do a 4th level, so then I can use all of my resin dice.
Whew!
So that is.
I am going to grab
for those
6.
keeping track at home, that's
many-
96.
God,
I am grabbing 6 d20s for the 6 whites
that's
Yep.
terrifying.
to roll all of their dexterity checks at once. They're not horrible at dexterity, but they're not great at it either.
Okay.
All right, what is your
That's
DC?
fine. My 1 second, please. That's a dexterity of 18.
18.
These are still my wizard spell.
So 2 of them succeeded. 2 of them
Okay.
succeeded. I'm gonna say it's probably. I think you'd still probably want to keep your allies safe a bit with your positioning of it. So it's probably the 2 closest to the door that are the ones that save, I would say, who are kind of getting like the outer edges of it.
Yeah. Cool. So let's roll ASMR of me rolling 96. Cool. So that is many 6s. 6, 12, 18, 24. 3, 18, 4, 6 of 24. 30, 35 points of damage each.
Okay,
For
so
the 2 that succeeded, that's halved to
17.
a number you know.
17. All right. So that's actually enough to. That is exactly enough to take out the one that that Artis and Conrad had already damaged. So that's 1 white completely incinerated. The other 3 that didn't make their saves are looking incredibly shaky. The 2 that did are fairly solid, but not. They still suffered greatly from that.
Yeah.
All right, that is
Cool.
an incredibly
I have
effective
nothing
turn.
I can do as a bonus action, but so yeah, Sevia did that her normal little like shoe of light. It would have zoomed straight over Conrad's head if he was crouched down, because that was the only way she could see into the room.
Oh yeah, I will point out because people are talking about the paper mache masks in the group chat. All the ones that failed their saves, the masks are just incinerated and turned to paper ash. So
Cool.
there's 2 masks.
Very
There are 2 masks remaining.
So Conrad can, Exley can hear Conrad swear under his breath in Serratum.
Cool. And then Sevia's going to say, "Well, get out of there!" Yeah. Cool. End of her turn.
All right. So whites are gonna come along. What is their movement again? Their movement is 30 feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's gonna come up to Beatrice and multi-attack. So as part of multi-attack, there's going to be a life drain, and then there's going to be a longsword attack. So life drain first. That is 9, so I think that misses. Then the longsword attack, which is a dirty 20, so that probably hit. Yes, that hits. All right. But that's not the nasty one, so... all right, so that is 8 points of slashing damage that you take from the one attack that hits you. All right, next is white number 3. It's going to go towards...
Does it? Sorry, just because I was holding my action for
You
when one
were.
came up.
You were. So, let's...
Because Beatrice is still holding aloft her sun sword.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So it technically would attack you after you have attacked it, because your trigger was for it to approach. So roll your. I believe you have 2 attacks at your current level. I think you have 5 levels of ranger,
Yes.
don't you? Yes. So roll me 2 attacks. It is not.
Attacks.
Yes. It is not positioned in such a place as you would get sneak attack from. Actually, you would. Dragonbait probably is close enough that. Actually, no, he's not. Otherwise, Dragonbait would have attacked as well. But you still get a lot of damage out of this.
And I will, yeah.
And this is one that's looking very damaged. So you
So
may very well negate this damage against you.
The first attack is a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
And the second one is a... What's that? 28 to hit.
That'll also hit. Can you do less than 10 damage?
Probably not. But let's, because it's a D8 plus 5 of radiant
Per attack.
per attack.
So you cannot roll less than 10 damage between the 2 attacks.
This is correct.
Yeah. So you swipe at this white and it just... The radiant damage combined with all the charring from the fire just melts it away. And so you don't take that 8 points of damage that it
Excellent.
otherwise dealt to you. White 3, so gone up to Dragonbait. Dragonbait's going to pull the same shit you just did. Though this one's in a bit of a better state, so it has a better chance of surviving. How many attacks does Dragonbait have? Dragonbait has 2 melee attacks with his Holy Avenger. Didn't roll well. 10 and a 14. So one of those attacks hits. But he does do... some radiant damage from the Holy Avenger. So... so that is... So 8 points of slashing and 20 points of damage all up. So this one's looking incredibly shaky as well now, but it is still standing. Although it also has its mask still intact. White number 4, this one's going to come towards you, Beatrice, and it's going to get its attacks off scot-free. So first it's going to try for its life drain, because why wouldn't it? Again, rolling really bad for the life drain. That is 9.
No.
Then the longsword attack, that is also going to miss. That's a 13.
Big miss.
Yeah. White number 5 is here. It's going to go for Artis. Again, life drain. Double check Artis's AC, but that's probably going to miss. That is, yeah, that's going to miss. And longsword, that is also going to miss. They don't have great to hit. Then finally, white number 6 is going to, it's going to go for Beatrice. Life drain as the first attempt. That's cocked. That's even worse. That's 8. And the longsword is an 11.
No.
Yeah. All right. Exley. There is 1 white that is in moderate condition. There are 4 that are in 3 that are in horrid condition.
There's 4 left.
Yes.
Okay. Exley will call out to Beatrice. Get out if you can. And he will hold his action for when Beatrice moves past 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
Okay. What kind of action are you holding?
A spell.
Okay.
Do you need the spell?
I don't necessarily need the spell, but I do need you to tell me what spell level, because you do expend the spell slot when you do start to cast it and expend the spell level when you hold the action. So if it gets to your turn and you haven't used that spell, you lose it. And also you are considered concentrating on that spell, even if it is not a concentration spell. So
Perfect.
So mark off that spell slot.
Done.
Okay.
It is 4th if you're interested.
Okay. Beatrice, it is your go.
So Beatrice, hearing 𝗖𝗧𝗧, she is going to. Oh wow! She is going to swipe at one of the whites next to her.
Yeah. Which one? The one that's in better condition or the one that's in worse condition?
The one that's in worse condition.
Okay.
And I did already just roll that before
Yeah.
I said that. And it's a nat 20.
Oh, so that first attack, well, it's one attack. It could still, you could, no, because max damage plus roll. So yeah, again, eviscerate this white. You cannot roll below 10 damage. All right. Then you have a second attack and another white by you.
So, Beatrice is going to heed 𝗖𝗧𝗧's little warning and is going to book it out of the room and into the hallway. She's only going to stop just behind
Now,
𝗖𝗧𝗧.
Of note, because you've taken the attack action, you do have a second attack you can take as you leave. Secondly, as a rogue, you can actually, even if you don't attack it, as a rogue, you can disengage as a bonus action. Or you can attack it and hope you destroy it, and maybe you can use your bonus action for something else.
All right, I'll attack it.
Because it's the thing, you've already started to use the attack action, you might as well go for a second.
That's a 19 to hit.
19 to hit, that hits.
And then we have... Oh, yay. Max damage. So, 13 points of damage.
All right, it's still standing. It's looking only a little bit better than the other two that are still standing.
And Beatrice is going to use bonus action, disengage, and get behind 𝗖𝗧𝗧𝗧.
All right. Excellent. So you were specifically holding for when Beatrice left, weren't you?
When Beatrice passed, yes.
All right. So Beatrice has passed. Your action goes off. Or held action goes off.
Can Conrad really quickly, while Beatrice is doing her 2 attacks, mention to 𝗖𝗧𝗧𝗧, try to spare one of the masks if you can.
𝗖𝗧𝗧𝗧 will nod hesitantly. Like he's not really sure if he's going to be able to. But at that point, the spell goes off.
Yeah.
And
What
𝗖𝗧𝗧𝗧,
was the spell?
it was a 4th level moonbeam in the doorway.
Oh yeah, that's not going to destroy the masks.
Perfect.
Might destroy some other things though.
So what's the radius on Moonbeam? Is it a 10?
It is a 5-foot radius,
5 foot
so it's the
radius.
4 squares outside of the door, which I
Okay.
believe will hit, if they're on the lines, it should miss Dragonbait. But
Yeah. I think Artis will get hit, but he will be able to easily step out of it on his turn. But does he
good.
take damage now as well?
Yes.
Yes. And that is what kind of save?
That,
And there is one white that is immediately affected too.
perfect. That is a Constitution 15 saving throw.
Okay. The white made it. Artis. Let me double check his modifier. Artis did not.
Okay.
All right.
Should be noted as well. So on the spell's casting, it deals damage, and at the start of anyone's turn
At the
inside of it.
start of the turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe I'll double check it. Yep, or starts its turn.
Okay. So roll me the damage.
That is 17. That is 25 radiant damage.
25 radiant damage. Oh, that is nasty. Artis is fine-ish. The white that is caught in it, even what was it? 25.
25.
25. So 25 halved is 12. So it is barely hanging on. All right. Next is Artis. So top of his turn, Moonbeam has to step out. That is again a failure because that's a 13. How much damage?
That's another 30 damage.
Oh, that is. He's started to look shaky.
Oops.
But he is going to. He's going to attack White 5. Because it's going to be the one that he's seeing. Like, he can move into that space to be out of the radius. Yeah, that's going to hit with the first. So this time he's using his dagger. Yeah, no, he's not gonna use the other thing. So that is 24. Oh, max damage. So that is 9 points of damage to white number 5. Which is one hit point left. So as long as he hits it again with his other 2 attacks, it's down. He misses with the second. He hits with the third, though. So he eliminates another white. And steps into its space and out of the moonbeam. And actually, in doing so, he's going to step towards the white number 6, just in case. All right. Next is Fall.
Okay, how many whites are there left at the moment?
There are 2.
Okay. So Fall will feel like the holy symbol thud against their chest, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I can use this." Looks up, but there's not much point of it anymore, and will can I go forwards, and then, considering I'm taller than Conrad, kind of leap up against the wall and shoot with a dart over Conrad's head at a white.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he's crouching too, so it should be perfect.
Excellent.
It was crowd.
Fantastic.
Yeah, taller than Conrad for sure.
So
which he hates.
there's only one that you have a line of sight to.
Okay.
From there, but yeah, you can.
Yeah, I'll
certainly-
shoot 2 darts at them if
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah,
So that's a 15 to hit.
that'll hit.
Awesome.
They don't have great AC.
Yeah. The dart does
They
not
don't
do
have-
much damage, but 6
It doesn't.
damage.
That's still enough.
Yeah, baby.
It is down, and while you know there's another white in there, you're
Can't get it.
yeah. You could if you
Can I
went
move?
down. If you move, you might. Yeah, it's in a horrible spot. It's in a horrible spot that you're from where you are. You're not going to be able to hit it.
Okay.
You'd have to probably swap spots with Exley, I think, to, and even then it'd probably have half cover.
Right.
Not that
Can
that
I-
does much.
Can I crouch in front of Exley and try to shoot at them?
Not without getting in the moonbeam.
Oh, good point. Yeah, good point. Okay, then I will leave the rest to you folks then.
I mean, not that it matters much because Dragonbait's about to get 2 attacks on this wight. So as long as he hits with... I mean, 1 attack could do it, but for good measure, I think both hit. Yeah, because the lower is a 16. So let's... So the first attack is... First attack's enough. So, another wight, last wight down. Alright. So all the wights are gone. And combat is over.
Cool.
The moonbeam is still up until Exley
Exley
says
keeps the moonbeam up for a little period. Just to make sure that there's nothing else around.
Alright.
Well,
Oh, they're all gone.
that went well.
Well, that's sorted with.
Surprisingly
Conrad is,
well.
like, back to normal now as well. He kind of like straightens up from where he's crouched down and very quickly, honestly. Now, the masks. There was mention of plate with eyes. Are there any of them left? They all most of them sort of cinders, unfortunately.
I think one was by Artis, so he picks it up and kind of off. Is the moonbeam down yet, or is it still up?
No, it's still up.
Okay. Artis he picks up the mask and he kind of offers it out to Conrad, but doesn't put his hand in the moonbeam to do so.
Conrad just looks at Exley.
I think it's time you lower the spell. Exley.
If we believe this room to be clear of enemies, of course. And he will do so.
Okay. Artis steps towards you, Conrad, and passes you the mask.
Always time for that later. Thank you, artist friend. Fantastic. Then he
course.
takes the mask off him.
Maybe a little warning before that thing next time. My warlord
There was
friend.
warning. Beatrice gave you warning. You chose not to listen.
Conrad looks at the mask.
All right.
Inspects it.
Yeah.
What's it look like?
Could you use the little healing friend?
It would certainly help after all that. Let me double check. It should be noted there are behind the two because there is now like light sources in here, and including flame-based light sources from Conrad. There are actually a pair of secret doors in this room behind two of the thrones, the ones closest to the window.
And Conrad will cautiously step into the room while he's inspecting this mask.
Yeah. There is also yeah. So yeah, there is a sarcophagus in the center, and of course the disc of eyes at the back.
Excellent. So Conrad, he's going to stride over to the disc of eyes to have a look at them while he's still looking at this mask.
All right.
He's very focused, not paying anything attention.
It's big. It's probably heavy. It is held aloft by a pair of bear statues that tightly grip the disc in their paws. So it probably can't be pried free without smashing the statues.
Are they moving now?
Yeah,
Artist said they were
the eyes are still moving.
Interesting. So he's going to ponder that for a moment, but I'll let other people do things before he does a stupid thing, maybe.
And some of them do seem to be looking at you. Because you're not wearing the mask yet, just to double check.
No, not yet, but that's what he's going to try that later. But
okay.
other people can do stuff first.
So the masks are, black and made of paper mache and feathers. So they're kind of
There's only one of
just
them now.
standard.
I believe, or
There are
two.
two. There are two.
Two.
And I think the other one's by Dragon Bait.
Cool. Other masks may be important. Someone pick it up.
Dragon Bait
He
picks up
says
the
without
other.
turning around.
Dragon Bait picks up the other mask.
Beatrice steps towards Artis and sort of puts her hand out and says, "Give me your hand."
He does so.
And she casts Cure Wounds at 2nd level and gives him a 16 points of healing.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. He's still looking pretty rough, but
Welcome.
you notice, like, he, like you, is pretty handy with the longbow, so he'll probably be favoring that over the dagger for a bit until he can get some rest. So Conrad, yeah, you're by the disc. Is there anything anyone else wants to do in inspecting this room?
X, they would like to inspect the sarcophagus.
So would Beatrice.
All right. Yeah, it is a stone sarcophagus.
Are there any inscriptions anywhere?
There is the inscription of what appears to be a name. It's written in a couple of different scripts, so you probably all can find some language that you recognize. Beatrice, you in particular would probably recognize it written out in Celestial. The name is Obolaka. OBO''LAKA. You recognize this as one of the names that you on one of the puzzle cubes from the entrance.
Interesting.
I wrote down Zorbo Obolaka.
Yes.
What's a Zorbo?
Zorbo is basically a drop bear.
Oh, okay, the drop down.
Yeah, they were the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
This has the same. Interesting.
Yes.
Excellent. Do you find anything?
Does Exley find anything?
Uh,
Aside from the name on the sarcophagus. There doesn't appear to be anything else.
No, it doesn't appear to be anything else. It can maybe be pushed open.
Before any of you do any of the things I know you're about to do, because there's 3 chaos children in front of a stone sarcophagus. Sevia has been standing in the hallway, waiting for everyone to come back out. And then no one has come back out. And she's like, and then she walks up and she looks through the door and she sees that everyone is kind of hovering around a sarcophagus, and she's going to turn to Fall. And she's just going to be like, again.
Yeah, it looks like that. I'm hoping it's a different kind of sarcophagus.
Well, I hope so, because otherwise Exley and Beatrice have certainly changed their tune, haven't they?
Yes, definitely. Well, good job on the fireball before as well.
Thank you. Good job with the dart. Did you see Conrad's eyes, though?
Yeah, now that you mention that.
That was... He could not do that before, couldn't he?
No, that doesn't seem common to any magic thing unless he has learned thaumaturgy and was doing that for some reason.
Ha. Ha. This is...
I can't remember. I don't think Fall knows anything about Conrad's magic.
No.
It was only only
I don't think they
Celia.
do know.
Yeah.
You've maybe
I know that he's
seen.
cursed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know he's cursed, and Esmeralda kind of said to everyone that she thinks Conrad's a warlock.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that doesn't mean Fall believed it. And at the
Mm.
time, Conrad was also like, well, no.
Mm,
And it was
yeah,
only
true.
afterwards where Stevie was like, actually, probably, yeah.
yeah.
So-
Make a note of that.
Conrad, do you know
Um,
what a warlock is? These are the factors. And Conrad's like, oh, that's probably me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, fair.
All right.
Yeah, true.
Conrad, are you a magical sugar baby? Yes?
So.
Anyway, yep, that's what Stevie is doing. She is gonna start walking towards the group, but she's walking slowly, just in case more dark magic explodes out and she has to duck.
So, okay. Yeah. So, what are people doing, Ari, the sarcophagus?
If it's not talking to us, then Exley isn't concerned.
Okay.
Exley will walk back to the doorway.
All right. Conrad?
Conrad's, again, still studying the little disc, and by this point, he kind of has been looking at the mask, and then he looks at the eyes, and then he looks at where the whites died, and, like, something seems to ponder over his mind. And I'll let listeners into his little brain pattern. It's him going, so either this could be part of the riddle, or I shall become like those creatures. Well, I suppose let's find out, is what his little brain's thinking, and then he pops the mask on.
Okay. You notice that the eyes seem to now look everywhere, look at everyone except for you.
He turns around, does the big, horrible wolfish smile while looking back at the rest of the group. And
No one sees it because he's wearing a mask.
Oh, it's a full face mask.
Yeah.
Nice.
I see you put the mask on.
Yes.
So other than the bronze plate seemingly ignoring you, no evident effect.
Interesting. And the eyes, are they like, do they appear, if now that he can see they're not looking at him, can he see they're looking at everyone else?
Yes. Yeah. They're keeping an eye on
Interesting.
everyone in the room.
Don the mask will be seen. Question, who has the other mask? Come over here.
Dragonbait has it.
Dragonbait, give it to someone else, please.
He looks at it and
Beatrice reaches her hand out.
he passes it to Beatrice.
Beatrice, come hither.
Beatrice trots over.
And you notice that the eyes start to avoid Beatrice. Or not avoid, but don't seek out Beatrice as well.
Oh, I presume it the second she puts it on.
Yeah.
Cora will be like, put on. I have... Okay, well, firstly, see the eyes.
Yes.
Now put on mask. They are looking at everyone in this room.
Is Beatrice able to put the mask on over her beak?
Yeah, true.
I would say it's a weird angle, but yes.
Alright. She sort of, it's sitting like strangely on her face, but she
It's-
puts it on.
It's enough to satisfy the magic of the mask.
There we go. She can't see shit, but
Can you see? They now are not looking at you.
interesting.
I think this is prophecy. It is
That's-
important of some variety.
That's right. There was that thing about the masks, wasn't there?
Yes. A pity there are only 2 left now. The true question is, what is the purpose of this? He's saying this as he kind of glares over at Sevia.
The one- Yeah, just a reminder, the one element of the room that has not been addressed is the sarcophagus.
He probably turns around, looks over at Sevia, and his eyes kind of fall on the sarcophagus. He's like,
It doesn't appear to be like one of the ones in the Amber Temple.
a pity. Those
there's
ones did not require opening to speak to. Perhaps this one does.
think that's the only thing that will happen. It will need to be opened.
So is one of you going to try to open it then?
Conrad is going to look around at everyone else and then look back at the disc again. He's like, "Get out of the room. I'm trying something."
Right. Artisan Dragonbait certainly step out of the room.
Beatrice can tarry to make sure I don't make any pacts with things, of course. Others leave. The eyes are watching, but they do not watch us when we wear these.
Go well down the corridor. Stay out of the doorway.
That makes sense.
Do not stray
nice.
far.
All right. So everyone leaves the room, I take it, other than Conrad and Beatrice?
Reluctantly, yes.
All right. So, who is going to do the honors, or are you both going to work together on it? On opening up this sarcophagus?
Beatrice is going to turn to Conrad and say, well, seeing as you have the lantern, she basically turns the sunlight sword off and goes to push the lid open.
Okay.
Good.
Roll me an athletics check.
Conrad lifts it aloft.
It's a nat 20.
Nat 20. That is definitely enough
Beatrice
to
is jacked.
push this off. And we're going to find out what's in the sarcophagus next time.
Oh,
Because-
as we peer down into
Because
the sarcophagus.
this is already running a little long.
Excellent. See you
But
next
yes.
week, everyone.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
Toodles.